in New York City, motorbike gangs are taking over the streets in large numbers. But these videos are popping up everywhere, as it seems NYPD hasn't been able to get them under control. And now it appears even bicycle crews are running amok in the city as well. But with the midterm elections coming up, what does New York's unelected governor Kathy Hochul have to say about their out-of-control crime?
Why are Republicans winning on this whole crime issue?
Because they're being dishonest about it.
But first, a message from this video's sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. Silver demand will exceed supply again this year. 32,000 tons of silver will be produced against 34,000 tons of demand. Mining.com, an online-only news site covering the global mining and metals industry, sourced the data. This proves what Noble Gold Investments has long warned the market about. US's transition to renewable energy will put pressure on silver production. Silver is used in solar cells, industrial fabrication, and the automotive industry. There will be future increase in demand in the field of nanotechnology, the food industry, and printed and flexible electronics. Demand will increase by 54% by 2030. There's no better time to invest in Noble Gold Investments than now. Noble Gold Investments will walk you through the entire process, and it will take you no more than 5 minutes to open a gold or silver IRA. And this month, you'll get an incredible free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin with a qualified IRA of $20,000 or higher. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. Call the team now on 877-646-5347 to find out more, or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. But back to these motorbikes plaguing New York City. As you can see in Brooklyn, NYC, the residents seem to just accept them doing whatever they want and just hoping they don't zero in on them. And watch when NYPD actually tries to stop these unregistered, not-for-public streets vehicles. This happens.
Look at that! Look at that! Come on! Look at what the? This officer right here needs to be arrested.
And that's the problem here. So many of them are absolutely flabbergasted when NYPD tries to stop them from breaking the law. The person recording sees them colliding with some random pedestrian and speeding off with no license plate. And somehow, that's NYPD's fault. Not to mention the surge in these vehicles on the streets have brought in Brazil-style robberies to New York. And check out that video if you haven't already. Or the fact that NYPD reported 4 people got hit by someone on a moped, but instead of being able to arrest the culprit, it seems they took to the streets and seized 40 bikes. Which is kinda sad when you put #GetStuffDone after a story of someone blasting 4 people, then getting away with it, followed by more stories of rampant motorbike gangs riding through your city. It's almost like when you stop the motorbikes, but don't jail the people actually doing the crimes, criminals are just free to continue committing more crimes. But hey, I'm not with NYPD, #GetStuffDone. But back to New York Governor Hochul on her residents being concerned about crime.
Governor, these are master manipulators. They have this conspiracy going all across America to try and convince people that in democratic states they're not as safe. Well, guess what? They're also not only election deniers, they're data deniers. The data shows that shootings and murders are down in our state by 15%, even in New York City.
So granted, NYC.gov released their murder rates, and it does look like they were down 32% in October. But if you look at Spectrum NY, who I don't see as anything close to conservative media, they talk about July murders in NYC rising 34%. So it's easy to cherry pick data and say, see, I'm right. I think the White House is doing that right now by saying gas prices are down. The price is still massively up from when they took over, but they are down from a very specific data point they picked out. Because you can tell crime is bad in New York when even MSNBC is turning on the Democrats.
We don't feel safe. You might be working closely with Mayor Adams. You may have spent a whole lot of money, but I walk into my pharmacy and everything is on lockdown because of shoplifters. I'm not going in the subway. People don't feel safe in this town.
Because look at this video from NYC. This poor guy is getting rocked by 2 people, and New York's finest gets there just in time to watch this guy get pummeled on the ground. And yes, that particular copper is probably not cut out to work the streets. Maybe I'm missing some context here, but it truly is sad when peace officers are too afraid to keep the peace. And this is happening in liberal cities all across the country. In Philadelphia, similar motorbike gangs can take over a gas station in front of the police, where they're seemingly helpless in this situation, where these ATVs look like they're trying to box in this SUV and even attempt to open their door. But again, you can be getting hijacked like a Fast and Furious movie on the road, and not only the police, but citizens are simply afraid to protect themselves for fear of legal repercussions in these deep blue areas. Just watch this footage from outside the upscale Beverly Center Mall in Los Angeles, California. This social media post stated they were able to stop this major intersection for over 20 minutes and LAPD never even bothered. Now we're hearing unconfirmed reports of how Chicago PD is handling their crime.
The survey gets sprawling, they're shooting, there's gangbangers versus gangbangers, they're shooting across at each other. Let them do it. Let it be.
Which I know a lot of people will say they don't blame them. But it's truly tragic that we're at the point where people will just surrender the streets and the innocent people that live there just because 51% of the voters say vote blue no matter who. Which I understand. They may or may not like some of their policies, but you have to hold them to some sort of accountability, otherwise the streets look like this. Because look at what the Democrats campaign on to counteract the rising crime rates.
They don't care about keeping you safe, they want to keep you scared.
Yes, of course you feel safe being constantly surrounded by security in your upscale neighborhood. Those same residents living in the areas that are slowly looking more and more like the third world, they can't rely on your empty campaign promises and fairy tales on how the streets are becoming safer. That's not going to influence the voters that actually live there. Because now, even good old bleeding heart liberal Joe Rogan knows what's about to happen in these midterm elections.
I think the red wave that's coming is going to be like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
So if you appreciate my concise, no BS commentary on current events, consider becoming a channel member for under $2. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel and check out my video on what's really going on in New York City because they're trying to hide it from you.